We're here outside the Rothman Center in beautiful Hackensack, New Jersey for another episode of A Moment with Masucci. We're here with the head coach of the women's soccer team, Marco Masucci. Coach, we didn't scare you away yet.
No, not yet. Maybe one more time.
All right, let's see how we can do this time. Coach, you have a young team early on. You put together a 0-1-3 record. I know you wanted to get your young team some experience, but it's a lot of overtime. I guess that's the best way, is just to get them in there and get them game experience.
The best way would be to just win a game in 90 minutes. But overtime's all right. We had big weekend, 2 overtime games against 2 very good teams. I'm very happy with the resiliency of this team. I think that they're just fighting really hard. Again, we spoke last week about getting a win. Still not there yet. But everything else besides the actual result is going very well right now.
Definitely have some positives we can take away from the games last week. Against Hartford, Rachel Hoaxer broke through for her first goal. So how important is it for her to get on track and for you guys to start scoring some goals?
That was huge. I think the team right now is playing with a lot of pressure on their shoulders. They want to get a win. And for Rachel, it's been, it was 2 very frustrating games before that. Iona and St. Peter's, she knocked on the door many times. She wasn't able to finish. I think her getting that goal was a big relief for her. I saw her play with a lot of confidence that game. Game after against Air Force, she really played a big role in keeping the ball. Her movement was pretty good. A freshman striker isn't like a freshman midfielder or a freshman winger. She has a lot of pressure to deal with at every game. And for somebody that's just coming into a new program with a bunch of young players around her, it's really a big job asking her to do what I'm asking her to do. And I think that she's responding very well. And honestly, I think that when she gets going, she's going to score a lot of goals for us.
You mentioned the Air Force game. It was a 0-0 tie. How nice was it to be able to play in front of the home crowd? You had a pretty nice crowd out there. And just how do you think that your players did out there?
I think the crowd definitely gave us the edge that we needed because, after going overtime against Hartford, which is, I have the utmost respect for that team. I think they play fantastic soccer, very successful over the past, decade. We were able to go into overtime with them, but that was a very physically grueling game. I think it took a big toll on us psychologically and physically. We had a very light practice on Saturday. Coming into Sunday, I think the crowd, having some of the alumni come back, first home game of the season, gave them, the adrenaline boost that they needed. I'd say we played about 65 very good minutes against Air Force where we were in control of the game. And after that, the legs just died out. But having the crowd there and playing at home and some of the talks that we were having in between breaks, I knew that the girls didn't want to stop playing. So they kept going despite their fatigue and, the injuries that they had picked up. So I think it was a huge advantage. I think without the crowd, it might have been a different result.
And then some of the upcoming games, you have Delaware State at home, and then you'll go on the road to Ryder. So what do you expect to see from your team during those games?
Delaware State will be a tough game psychologically for them because I'm asking them to keep, this is no disrespect to any of the other teams, but coming into Hartford, the game was very built up. We built up Hartford because they had a lot of success and the players were ready to play that game. So now, the players looking at the level, there's a big gap between Hartford and Del State. And historically, there was a big gap between Hartford and ourselves, so we can't take anybody lightly. But at the same time, we need to play at the same intensity that we played this past weekend. I think if we do that, we can have success on Friday. If we don't, we could be up for another result where we come close but don't get the points that we need. And I don't think that's acceptable after the work that we've done this week and the weekend that we had last weekend. We need to try and get a win this weekend.
Well, Coach, you guys are working hard, so why don't you go enjoy the rest of this beautiful day here in Hackensack.
I will. Thank you very much, guys.
All right, until next time, thanks, Knights fans.